Keeping 100 DC here on the New Beat Fan 109.6. It is November 19th, and today I will be featuring homegrown artist Billy Currington, as it is his birthday today. Happy birthday, Billy. And this is my favorite song out of all his songs, People Are Crazy. If you ever take time, sit down and just listen to the words. We are a messed up country. Today is also National Play Monopoly Day and National, this is a long one, Carbonated Beverage with Caffeine Day. So basically, have a Coke and a smile. I do remember when I was 12 years old, I played this one game of Monopoly for 9 days with my buddy Pat Majors. We left it set up in the garage and we played every day after school. Good. I mean, when I wrote the show, I was sitting there thinking, man, I've had a lot of great memories from Monopoly. Y'all ever play Monopoly?
Oh, I used to have 9-day games also.
So you get it, right?
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
Get it. Nobody's going to give in. It's Monopoly. We're going to win Monopoly. Why, Jack? I don't know either.
I don't know, but
I don't
what
know.
do you do?
I don't know, because when you win, what do? You're like, oh, good game.
No, you make the other guy clean up.
Oh.
The loser cleans up, so that's where you throw your money down,
loser,
and you walk away.
Up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Pat, you're in trouble now, buddy. I had Jack in here, and now I know what happens to the losers. By the way, I lost that day, so I'm not totally on board with your idea, but I mean I'm on board. When we come back, we're going to talk with my guests, Miss Debbie and Jack Schwartz, and find out exactly why they are in my studio today. Here on BFAM 109.6. We'll be right back. I know that you made some amazing, was the word, cookies for your league yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us what the cookies are about.
So I end up making every week. We started, thanks to Kim, I started baking every week, Mondays. And now it's, when I don't bake, I get these looks. So every Monday night, I bake something because my goal in the future is start a culinary therapy. So I just enjoy baking for other people's and seeing their smiles.
Yeah,
so yesterday,
she made pumpkin cheesecake and little mini pecan pies.
All right, so did everybody hear that? Pumpkin cheesecake cookies, correct? I believe they were. Mm-hmm. And then the pies were little mini pecan pies. Well, we get lots of pecan pies down here in Georgia, and we know you're not from Georgia.
No, this
so next time we come in here, we're gonna have to do the pecan pie swap. I'll make mine.
Only if you say it right, it's pecan.
I mean, whatever it is, but if I say that, I have a lot of relatives extremely pissed off at me.
Exactly.
So next time you guys come in here, we're gonna do the pee-pee swap. I will bring a pie, you will bring a pie. And we'll do the Yankee versus Southerner pies. My guest today is really from New Jersey, but now calls Coming Georgia home. She is a patient advocate for Lupus Research Alliance, and her husband Jack is her biggest supporter and here to help her spread the message today. Please welcome my friends back in studio, Jack and Debbie Schwartz in live. What's up, guys?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having us here.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are going to be probably one of my biggest comebackers.
Well, that's great.
Because you guys were just a fill-in, actually. You were here with Kim Gruen, and she brought you just to play the game.
Yeah.
Well, we thank her.
Yeah,
Thanks, Kim.
Oh, yeah. But now we're going with Lupus Research. And we're going to talk about a lot of stuff today. We're not going to do another game. We're going to do 2 segments with Debbie. Let's go right into this stuff. 1993, you had brain surgery to try to control epilepsy, which you were diagnosed with in 86. How did that go?
I was called to trying many different places, and I decided, my father and mother decided to go for Yale, and I was 100% successful as one of the first to have brain surgery. I was 100% successful, have not had a seizure since, which changed my world completely. So I have mostly no memory of the years between my 16 and my 21 years because of the brain surgery, but everything after is pretty clear. So Jack has to fill you in on how it was living with it.
She went and talked to doctors about how to control the epilepsy, and it finally came down to surgery was the only solution. So actually, the day of her diagnosis is the day I asked her to marry me.
No, the day of my surgery.
No, when the first surgeon said you have to have surgery, no ifs, ands, or buts. So she was in a wreck, and I asked her to marry me, and we're still here, you know.
Still together.
I like her. I like her
years later.
story. I mean, your story is sentimental to the heart.
Yeah.
I like hers.
Yes.
I married him because he's got a cool name.
I like his last name.
That was just so awesome when she said that the last time we met. We were sitting there in the. I remember in the battered old TVs.
Right.
She goes, "He's got a cool name."
I didn't think I'd ever find a guy with the same last name, and you know.
See, that's
I
the story we're
wanted
going
to
to.
keep-
You guys
I
have the same
wanted
last
the-
name.
I wanted to
legally.
keep the Schwartz.
Yeah,
Yes.
yep. Her maiden name is my name, and yeah.
But you're not related.
No, we, it's funny because around the time we started getting serious, her uncle did a family tree of her family, and my brother, not knowing this, did a family tree of our family. So 4 or 5 generations back, there are no names in the same places with the same names.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, so.
So
I mean,
the
you know,
Schwartzes stick
You know, who
together.
knows, 20 generations ago,
Who
maybe.
cares? That doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
but who cares?
Yeah. I don't even care about 3rd and 4th generation.
Oh, I
Well,
know.
yeah.
But
We're
still,
4 or 5 generations
we're
back.
okay as long
Yeah.
as we're not related, and
Absolutely. I mean,
So-
such a cool story on that part, though.
yeah. So
But-
like it worked out that the Schwartzes were meant to be together.
Yeah.
So that's why when I decided to start looking into epilepsy, I became Deb Squared because my name is Debbie Schwartz, which was Deb Squared. And I
So,
figured it
yeah.
was a great way that people would connect to remembering me. So when my son was diagnosed with epilepsy when he was younger, and I decided I was very secretive as a child about it. Didn't want people to know, and I figured I'm not going to let that happen to my son. So when I realized he was having a seizure, I said, let's find a cure for him. Even though I had a cure, I didn't want it to continue with him. So I decided to look into anything we can to get word out that other people need a cure, because epilepsy is not the same as for everyone.
Right.
So I got very involved with speaking out and telling my story about how I was diagnosed with the epilepsy. Thank God I was cured, and I continued to fight for other people to being cured. That's just part of my being, is helping other people, because I know I was in it alone and I was very secretive. So I don't want people, if you have epilepsy and you need someone to talk to, feel free to talk to me. Even though it's not the same, there's hope.
Yeah, so, you know, she went through with brain surgery. We were engaged. She wouldn't marry me until the surgery happened. I don't know that I would have done the surgery if I was in her place, you know, operating on the brain. So they did that. It was a success. She came out of it great. She's been seizure free. So she's fully controlled now. And, you know, that was the first stage in her life when we thought we were done. We thought, okay, we've been through our
Man,
big
it's major.
trauma.
That's
Right.
major.
And we thought we went through it. We figured, all right, we're starting off good, and it was good for a while. And then, then lupus came around.
So that's what I was going to hear next. So over the years, you started having different issues.
Correct.
You decided to get tested for lupus to rule the disease out, actually.
So
Tell me about that.
So what was happening was I would get achy, I get weak, and we wanted to rule out the epilepsy because we didn't think it was epilepsy, but we figured let's try and test by neurologists and others.
You know what? Whenever anything unexplained happened, my worry is that something with the brain, because she had brain surgery.
Right.
They
Absolutely.
don't know the
So we
effects.
went and we wanted to rule it out. That was the first thing we did. So we completely ruled out anything to do with the brain surgery with epilepsy, anything like that. But there were times where, you know, Debbie was in the hospital for a week, and it was, you know, one of those situations where she was in the hospital for a week with all these different symptoms, all sorts of things. Everyone said, well, it could be this, it could be that. Who knows? But you're doing better, so go home.
So they'd send me home and and then I'd end up back again. They were testing me for leukemia, MS, and then with my heart, they ended up doing some tests there where I got infection from just the testing alone. So one day I just decided to go in and say, I don't know why it hit me, but it did. I had like a dream or something, and I said to my doctor, "Can you test me for lupus?" And he's like, I didn't think about that. Yeah, let's do it. So he tested me that day, and I had a great doctor in New Jersey that would
Let
ask
me just jump in here. That's something for anyone who thinks they may have something, anything, lupus, whatever. You've got to make sure you find a doctor that you trust. You get a doctor that is willing to listen to you, because what Debbie skipped over is we went to multiple doctors and they just said, yeah, no, it's not this, whatever, go on, move. We finally found a doctor who would sit down, which I didn't know doctors do anymore, but sat down at a desk and said, okay, what's going on in your life? What's the problem? Okay, I think it may be this, this, or this. And we would say, well, what about this, this, or that? And he'd be, you know what, that's a good idea. Let's look at that.
So it was Dr. Kapoor.
I was going to ask you, can we shout his name out?
Yes, so I want to thank him so much.
Dr. Kapoor
in Ringwood,
New Jersey.
So
Dr. Kapoor, Ringwood, New Jersey, we appreciate you.
So we ended up, I kind of got very close to him, talking to him, because his daughter, who was older, was diagnosed with epilepsy. So we kind of connected in our own way. But with the lupus, I'd have all these side effects, and I just said, can you test me for lupus? And he said, okay, we got tested. He goes, it's not only lupus, it's a bunch of other autoimmune diseases on top of it, but lupus is the primary, just like you thought.
And you know what, just for people who may not know what lupus is, it's a chronic autoimmune disease where the person's immune system attacks healthy parts of the body.
The main word there is chronic, from what I've been reading.
Yes, it's chronic.
It's
There's no known cure. Right. It affects everybody differently. It predominantly affects women and women of color. But again, it's an autoimmune disease, so a lot of the other ones that Deb was diagnosed with are other autoimmune diseases because something's not right with her immune system.
Right. So, like you've heard of fibromyalgia from the commercials, Sjorgen's, and all the others. Just you can't imagine how many different types of autoimmune diseases there really are.
Right. What exactly is the testing for lupus that you went through? I know there's a lot. Like, how do they rule lupus in or out?
Blood test.
Blood test.
There's certain markers in the blood, and here again, scientists know better than me. I don't understand exactly. I don't think Deb does either. But there are markers. So when they run a test, they check certain markers and say if you're at this level or higher, then you have lupus. Or that's my understanding of it.
Wow. It's just that simple. But it's
a blood test that doctors may not know to even order.
Right. That's kind of sad right there. When we come back here, we're going to learn more about Jack and Debbie getting involved with the Lupus Research Alliance. Keep it 100 DC here on PFAM 109.6. Be right back. Welcome back to the show. Birthday shout-outs today are brought to you by Barker Heating and Air, who reminds you, if your air goes out and you don't know what to do, call 678-888-COOL. I think we should change that to if your heat goes out. Can we do that, Natalie? I'm going to get permission to do that. We've been talking with my guests about lupus and the Lupus Research Alliance, Debbie and Jack Schwartz. How did you guys get involved with the organization?
Well, it started when she got her first diagnosis. She was, as she did with epilepsy, she says, I'm not taking this lying down, I'm going out and I'm going to find a cure. And she went online and found that there was going to be a walk at Giant Stadium.
And my husband is a huge Giant fan.
A little bit.
However, it's sponsored by the Jets.
So
is that back when they were sharing the stadium?
They still share the stadium.
Oh, they do share the stadium.
Yeah. So it's like I go to Giant Stadium and there's all this Jets paraphernalia and all this, and the Jets players, and you know what? If they're helping to find a cure for something that affects my wife, I am now a Jet fan.
You sucked it up.
Yeah.
Good brother. Good husband.
So that day we went, I just took,
it was just the four of us.
My husband and my two boys, thank you, Joel and Aaron, for coming. And we went not knowing anything. I just said, we have to figure this out because I have a feeling my father had lupus. Even though he's not diagnosed, he showed some signs. So I said, because of the epilepsy of my son, I don't want it to continue. So I decided to go, we're going to get into this, and it's not the loop. We need to find a cure. So I went, and we went to the stadium, and we see all the Jets, and my son was excited to see all the cheerleaders. All the
crew. Let me tell you, they're
so I have
pretty
pictures
cute.
of them standing with those cheerleaders, and their facial expression was amazing.
Yeah.
And that day we learned a little about what lupus was. And I said, you know what? I'm going to have a team next year. So I started talking to my friends and learning more about the organization, which I think
and one of the key things, we really are big supporters of the Lupus Research Alliance. 100% of the donations that people make to the LRA go directly to research. All the fundraising, all of the administration, all the fundraising, all the costs that normally go into it are covered by their board of directors and their key sponsors. So when we do our walk, and we sell the shirts that we're wearing as fundraisers, all the money that we get for this, all the people that say, here, let me give you $10, $10 goes to find the cure. None of this overhead.
Percentage.
You're not paying someone's salary. You're not paying to get a balloon or whatever. And that's a big reason why we love the Lupus Research Alliance.
Totally understand.
They're there to find a cure. And all the money they distribute goes to the researchers, goes to the doctors, goes to the people to find the reason. So, we fell into them at this walk. We looked at it, we love the group, and now, we're full on with them.
100% donations go, because the owner of the Jets' daughter has lupus, and it's all from the heart now. And that's where I found it was more important to me to find people that cared so much. And that's why I'm so big with this organization. So I started Team Deb Squared going forward in a few years, and it grew every year. So what happened was last year, one of my best friends from childhood, whose name is Debbie, and she used to call me Ditto. So it was Debbie and Ditto, and I
got some cool
decided,
names to your family,
I decided that the Deb Squared, as much as it is Debbie Schwartz, it's now me and my girlfriend Deb Squared, fighting for a cure for the two of us for our next generation.
It's almost Deb squared.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So now my team has really grown from some of my best friends. Thank you all.
I think they do the walk every year around May 10th.
Right. And this is in New Jersey, though, right?
This is in New Jersey, yes. So
You can't
And
get
you
one
guys
started
live here, so yeah, we're
trying to get one out here.
we head up for that every year.
Right.
And I think we had
About
over 48, I think,
That's
last
awesome.
year.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
48 people, and they're all wearing our shirts, and
That's
we
awesome.
walk around, and we.
So speaking of those, though, what kind of things do you do for fundraising, and how can people get to you for doing that? Slowly. I've got a couple people that write really slow,
Okay,
especially me.
Every year we do the walk, and we sell these shirts. That'll start happening around January. Come January, Deb sets up a page on the Lupus Research Alliance, their Walk to Cure Lupus.
Okay.
That page is not up yet.
But if people want to make a donation just to Lupus Research Alliance, they're welcome to make a donation.
Yeah. The website is, if you don't mind me telling.
Absolutely, that's what I
say
wanted to
later. Okay, it's lupusresearch.org. Okay, and if you go to the lupusresearch.org, you can make a donation there. If you can also search for the walk, the New Jersey walk. I believe the page from 2019 is still up.
Okay.
Search for Team Deb Squared, DEBSQUARED, and you can make donations there. If you're local to the Georgia area, if you're a bowling fan, Monday night at Stars and Strikes, come January, I'll be selling the T-shirts.
Okay.
So come on down. It's, we don't make a penny on this. Everything that we get for this goes right into to fund that.
Yes. We design the shirts ourselves. Thank God my husband is a graphic designer and could do the artwork.
Absolutely.
So, but we end up trying to sell the shirts to make a donation, as well as just thank you for my Monday nights for my 50/50s that allow me to do it once in a
Yeah,
while.
so
That's awesome.
Krista and Sean, thank you for letting us run those 50/50s.
Because it
You
all
know,
goes,
for
100%.
for all the guys down there, we did a bowling ball giveaway fundraiser. So
We're definitely gonna, and then when you're on that with the bowling things, bowlers give back, and my 2020, this is my last year with the Princess Queens. It's actually this weekend, but I have no more bowling commitments as far as tournaments go, except for my Relay for Life. I'm gonna make a lupus. Everybody's asking, so you know when I commit to something that I need help, number one, and number two, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna make a lupus bowling tournament.
Oh, we would
I
love
just
it.
know
Thank
too many
you so
people are
much.
pressing me about it and asking, so I'm gonna make that and I'm gonna run it through you guys.
I would love it.
that would be incredible.
We just gotta find out when to do it. When is Lupus Awareness Month?
Lupus Awareness Day is May 10th,
So
my birthday, as I was.
what?
I'm
I'm telling you, man. I'm just
Yeah,
saying. You
lots
guys
of-
got a lot of that fortune teller
Oh,
shit
I
going
believe
on.
things
Yeah.
happen.
So we're
for
gonna
a
say
reason.
May, okay? I'll do
Yes.
May 10th to see how close I can get to that.
We'll be
So
in
May
New
10th
Jersey.
is Lupus Awareness Day.
Yes.
Yeah, so
What day of the week is that on this year?
Well,
I don't know.
If that's on a
It's
Tuesday or
Mother's Day.
Thursday, you guys are booked.
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll
Just in
definitely
case.
have to talk this again.
We have the walk in
come-
New Jersey.
Come
Oh, that's
that
right.
weekend, we're going to be in New Jersey.
But-
Okay, that's right. We'll get
But
you.
if anyone
we'll figure
wants
it
to
out.
do a walk out here, I am willing to get all the information to do one.
I totally agree. So basically, let's see here. We're not time to go yet. Hey, have you ever been to Washington? Ask for funding about lupus research.
So we've been going to Washington D.C. to speak to Congress and the senators for the last
3 years.
3 years,
Okay.
and
It's an amazing experience, and I suggest to every person watching or listening, go there and talk to your congressman, talk to your senator about anything. I mean, I'd love you to support lupus, but to me, it was a life-changing experience the first time I walked into the room.
the first time we went, we were still in New Jersey, so we got to speak to the congressman in New Jersey. But when we moved out here, we asked if we could represent Georgia. So we went and spoke to.
Congressman Woodall is
Right,
a
yeah.
representative, and we had a meeting, and we've had a couple of other meetings where the congressmen and senators, they couldn't make it. They have busy jobs. so-
Right.
But for this one, we're talking to the people in the office, the staffers, and we're making our points, and a knock comes on the door, and in walks the congressman. And whether you agree or disagree with his politics is irrelevant. The aura of just him being in there,
Yeah.
amazing. Shook our hands, said, "Tell me about lupus. What's going on?"
Tell me your story and
so-
let me understand why it's important to
Right.
you. And we explained there's no cure. We really need a cure. And he listened, and we're hoping he'll sign.
Yep. And
So, for the last-
being that we've done it 3 years, we've now started to make some relationships with the staffers, and they're
Okay,
the
cool.
guys
So-
that do the work. So,
Absolutely.
this
Those are the
year-
workers, right?
Yeah.
Right, so this year, like, I knew how to do New Jersey, I didn't know Georgia, so another person had asked me if I would go with them to speak to Woodall and,
I think it was Senator
Isaacson.
Isaacson's office. Yeah,
so we
Okay.
ended up, and it happened to be the day before Isaacson
announced that
announced
he was.
leaving
retired,
Yeah.
for being sick.
Yeah.
So we went in, we spoke, and
Still cool to talk to him though.
Come on
now.
and the first thing the person
Yeah.
said when I walked into Woodall's office is, "Where's your husband? I've never seen you by
Jack,
yourself."
I couldn't go that day.
Nice.
So-
but the
But
fact,
the fact that they
Yeah.
remembered us,
Absolutely.
that we left an impression,
Just
that
keep
it was
going.
so important.
You never know.
You never know. You have to keep
Yeah,
going to
especially
make a
you, Jack.
change.
Obviously.
I
So
don't know.
Doesn't matter who gets remembered. Just remember that you have to. What's coming up next? Because I know we have to talk about this thing. I also heard. Before you answer that question, I heard you recently spoke at the American College of Rheumatology's annual meeting.
yes.
Talk about meeting a congressman. That's about 10 steps up. How'd it go?
Oh, it was
I want your opinion
amazing.
first.
Oh, it was amazing. So I want to thank Diane and Margie for helping me put this poster together. We ended up, my story was, I cannot see because I don't have my glasses.
Because they're on your head. That has nothing to do with lupus.
I had wrote a story about how learning to listen to your body.
Okay.
So I wrote that when your body says you're hurting, there's something not right. So I've learned that I have a sensitivity to the sun, and my face turns red and burns, and I get achy once in a while. But remember, I'm in remission, so I don't get it as much as I used to. However, your body still tells you you're not cured. Lupus is still there. So we decided, I wrote this story with them about how to listen. And when you're achy, stay out of the sun. Lie down, relax. I'm a very active person. Before I got ill, I was very active. My relaxation is just swimming today. So when my body says no, I stop. And it's how to listen and move forward. Acceptance is very hard. I think moving down to Georgia has been the biggest gift because it's learned to just say, slow down.
We do slow down down
I
here.
do slow down.
Yeah.
People
We all do.
So it's helped a lot. And when I was standing in front of everyone, they asked me questions, and I said, it's important to me, like I say to you, for the next generation, I need to promote finding a cure. And when I stood in front of all these people telling my story, I felt I was being listened to, and doctors came over to me, nurses came over to me, and patients came over to me. Understanding is very hard, and we want people to understand your body's telling you something. Slow down. One day we will find a cure.
Absolutely. So how do you think it went?
So
What did you get from it?
as the husband, standing off to the side, she's a rock star.
Absolutely.
That's all I can say. She had research scientists, she had doctors, she had people who are solving issues coming up to her, and she's standing in front of a big screen TV with her story, and people are coming over saying, so what about, and I didn't get close enough to hear everything that was being said because I was just sitting all watching.
Yeah, proud.
And you know what? She stood there, she talked, she gave answers, she explained everything. It was phenomenal to see it. I was never more proud of her than that morning.
I wish I had my little sound bite out right now. I really want to do that little. I have this thing where the crowd kind of does the golf clap and it gets louder. That's what I want to do right now. What's next? What's coming up next?
What's next? Probably we're just getting ready for the walk. Is probably.
'Cause, I mean, you just came back from this. I mean, when I say they just were at the rheumatology, it was last week, right?
Yeah,
And
last
it was
Sunday.
huge. It was held.
Because I told you I wanted you fresh from there before anybody else got you.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was.
Because it shows on your face. You'll see the video back when you watch it. The awe in his face is still there. I can tell I know exactly how he looked when he was there. It's still fresh.
Yeah.
It's not old yet. Yeah, that'd be a good moment for
It
you.
was a moment of just saying, my biggest thing is you're not alone.
Absolutely not.
And my biggest logo, I always hashtag, we're in this together. Because we need to find a cure together. People from all over, different states. I got connected with a lot of different people from a lot of organizations. And you hear their own stories and you're like, okay, they're fighting to find a cure as well. And it's so important that some of their stories are so sad and you know that they need help. But they put on the front, just like you have said to me.
Right.
That you look great. Yeah, but you're inside, you're hurting because the pain, and thankfully it's not lupus that's killing me. It's my body's just tired.
Right.
But you just fight it, and you know you're doing it for someone else. And I've seen so many heroes, and you guys all know who you are because you're in my picture that I posted today. Mm-hmm. That you guys are all my heroes, and I just want them to know that. and it's so important that they know they're doing it for other people.
Absolutely. I mean, there are so many people that we've met through the years, through the Lupus Research Alliance and through other organizations. They were all there. There were so many of them there, and from California, Michigan, the Northeast, everywhere.
Everywhere.
And they're you know, my wife's a rock star. They're rock stars. They're all heroes, and I'm really confident with it. All the effort they're all putting in, you know, they're gonna find something soon.
That's so awesome. I like the hope. I hear it in your voice. The cool part is Jack's gonna get a win. Jack, show that out. That is your win. Thank you to the Braves for sending out a backpack.
Thank you, Braves. Awesome.
And Debbie, you are gonna win a gift bag from Bella Lee Boutique. It is an online boutique, and she left the bag here, and I believe the size of the shirt was a large or an extra large, which I know you'll fit into sleep in or regular. So you get a prize too. Keep it at 100 with DC. We'll be right back after this short break.
Thank you very much.
So Debbie, would you like to shout out anybody today? Say hi to everybody first.
I want to say hi to everybody that was with me at this wonderful event for lupus. Y'all know who you are. Oh, I said a y'all from South.
I think that's kind of hot, because that's a New Jersey girl saying y'all.
And I want to thank my kids for dealing with this. Joel and Aaron, thank you. And all my friends who are watching and supporting us. So I want to send out, if you're interested in finding more about lupus, Lupus Research Alliance, as well as Team Deb Squared. I hashtag a lot lupus sucks, because it really does, and we need to find a car.
Did you double S that?
Yes. Did I miss one? I don't.
No, if you did, we're going to get it back here. So before we get to him now, if you could shout out any one person by looking at the camera, who would it be? Look right here and shout that person out. Don't look at him. I know it's him.
It is my husband.
I know it is, but look at him.
Jack. And see, I get emotional because it really is. He fights with me for this, and we need to find a cure, because thank you.
See, that was my Roy Firestone moment. Remember how on ESPN Roy Firestone used to always ask the question at the end, and the jock or the athlete used to start bawling? That was my moment. Debbie, thank you for participating. It wasn't scripted, I promise you.
No,
that worked perfect. So Jack, Debbie, thank you for coming here.
No,
I'm serious, you make my day.
If I could help you.
You do. You make my day. I get little ailments. I feel stupid for my ailments that I have when I think about how much you're fighting, and just the smile all the damn time. I never see her without a smile. And you know, she's Jack. Yeah, it doesn't even matter. Jack, who do you want to shout out today?
Well, I want to just plug the Lupus Research Alliance one more time, lupusresearch.org. I want to thank Diane and Margie. They're the great people, do a great job there. They helped us out a lot. And that's, you know, hello Joel, hello Aaron. Hey everyone from bowling, thank you for all the support, guys. And you know what? If you want Debbie to bake something specific for you, let us know what you want. She'll bake it.
Oh, dude, there.